안녕하세요. 림베이시 Singapore 남자입니다. 네, 안녕하세요 여러분들. I am here in a shopping mall in Istanbul. Who looks like any shopping mall in any other country. Actually, pretty much the same brands as well. And yeah, today I just want to take a little time to share with you guys how I actually started living overseas. Actually, I've been living overseas. Actually, if you want to count front and back and stuff, it's about 20 years. And within that 20 years, I pretty much not lived back in Singapore at all. Okay, so yeah. So I become quite a different creature of my own. But what a lot of people may be wondering how this whole thing started. So just sharing with you guys how I started my decades of life as an overseas Singaporean. It all started back about 20 years ago when I was still in the Navy, and I was still an officer in the Navy. I came to, but towards the final 1 or 2 years of my term in the Navy, I was actually doing a lot of investment work outside as well. Not say work, I was dabbling in real estates. I was flipping real estates, and also starting to get into the whole options trading industry. Okay, so towards the tail end of my career. Now during that time, it was like the property boom time of Singapore. So I was dabbling a lot in real estates, and then I had a partner from mainland China. Back then I didn't know anybody from mainland China. So this lady, quite old lady, maybe in her early 50s. So she worked with me on one of the projects, and then one day she just asked me this: "You're such a capable young man. Why don't you try out in China? China is like the place to be right now." Back at 20 years ago, then I started remembering, like back in 20 years ago, really everybody was talking about venturing to China, and even the Singapore Prime Minister was saying that we should venture to China. So at the time I got like, but I know nobody in China. How do I get started? And then that's when she revealed to me that her husband is actually a very successful businessman in the Kunming area of China. I said, whoa, okay. She said, why don't you go to Kunming, meet up with my husband and see what you can do there. And that's when I just packed up, within the moment I leave the Navy, I just packed up and I just went to Kunming. And when I was in Kunming, right, that was in 2004. So in Kunming, when I arrived in Kunming, China, which is the southeast western part of China, then it was very underdeveloped but very exotic. And when I first arrived in China, I was actually very surprised. I remember the moment I reached China, not moment, but after exploring it for a day or two, I actually messaged my younger brother. Yes, I have a younger brother who lives in Singapore, who has always lived in Singapore, never left. Okay. Still is in Singapore. But anyways, so I messaged him though, I've settled down in China, and then he asked me, so how is China? And then this was what I told him: I have come to the land of freedom. Whoa, it's crazy. You can do anything. Back then you can it feels like there's no law at all, So then my brother messaged me and said, oh, isn't China supposed to be like all authoritarian and that there's no freedom and it's all communist? I said, yeah, it is communist, but it feels so different. It feels like complete freedom. I feel more freedom here than in Singapore. That was what I told him. So that was also one of those times which actually reinforced in my mind that the story world is so different from the real world. That the story that we make up about certain countries or the world in general is so different when you're there for real, in the real world. Now, anyway, check out my video on are you living in a story world or a real world, for what I actually mean by this concept. And then I met up with her husband, and you know what? To my big surprise was this: her husband was not like the businessman. her husband literally owns an entire street of saunas, of entertainment services. Okay, why? Her husband was a big time secret society boss. And oh my god, I came all the way to China, and immediately I got involved in the secret society, the mafias of China. It was like, man, I was treated like a king, just because I knew his wife. He treated me like a VIP, like a king, introduced me to the city, really got me started on the opportunities and stuff. But that was when a lot of very so-called unfortunate, but right now when I think back, it's very interesting experiences happened, very crazy experiences happened during that time, which I will share in the future videos. So yeah, from Kunming, I went in general from Kunming. After that, I branched to Shanghai. After that, from Shanghai, I branched to Henan. After that, from Henan, I branched to Beijing, and I kind of never stopped. And I got so used to it that I kept moving on and on until today, almost 20 years. Yeah. So that's how I started my life as an overseas Singaporean. How about you guys? How do you guys start your life overseas? Or share with me in the comments below. I don't know.